Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you all was great. We are going to talk about teaching media for listening skill. We are from group 2. My name is Anggreni Husumadewi and I'm working together with my friend Cempaka Sekar Ayu Lestari, Fitriani Ramadanti Supena, Larasati Nur Aziza, and Sofwa Azahra. There are two topics that we'll be discussing this video, and they are first, introduction listening, and the second, various media for listening skill. Okay, now let's move on to the first topic. Introduction listening. Listening is communication method that requires the listener to understand, interpret, and assess what they hear. According Sarma 2011, the ability to listen can actively improve personal interaction through reducing problems, increasing cooperation, and fostering understanding. There are two main reasons that makes listening skill is important to learn as a foreign language learning. There are, the first, a new language learner should learn listening at the initial stage of language learning in the same manner as a child learns a mother language. And the second, listening can enhance speaking skill. And the third, listening exercise help to draw a learner's attention to new forms in the language such as vocabulary, grammar, and interaction patterns. And the next topic is various media for listening skill. You know what media? Yeah, media is a tool or devices that teachers use to deliver the material of study for learners to make the teaching learning environment more interesting and effective. Instructional media refers to devices and material which a teacher can use to clarify an idea around use interest and enrich learners' imagination in teaching and learning. That is such as music, films, podcasts, games, and YouTube, and etc.
Music. According to Ochak in 2012, explained that songs are important teaching tools in teaching EFL or English foreign language because as most teachers find out that students love listening to the music in the language in classroom. And according to Ross in 2006, the example of authentic listening materials is listening to song to learn more about well-known bands that sings in English. As we know, whenever we are, songs always follow us at home, at school, at office, at cars, and so on. So we can directly listen to the song and also interest to learn the value of the language in it. When design lessons and teaching materials to further develop listening comprehension skills, students need to be motivated and stay motivated. This is best accomplished by determining the suitable of the listening materials, such as the use of song as authentic material. The use of song stimulates and motivates students to comprehend the content of materials. The strength and the weakness of music for teaching listening skills. The strength is with the first is people can enjoy the music and learn some new vocabularies. And second, people can improve the pronunciation of the song and not how many words that still sound strange. And the third is figure out the meaning and understanding. And the weakness is not everyone likes music, and sometimes they could not learn when the vibe of melody is not sound same with their preference. The implementation of music for teaching listening skills. We can take a note and listen to strange work. Looking for the lyric through Google is fine, and as learners, we can listen while reading the lyric. In that case, we know him to pronounce the word well.
The next topic is film. The definition of film, according to Himawan Pratista, 2008, film is an audiovisual media that combines two elements, namely narrative and cinematic. The narrative element itself is related to the theme, while the cinematic elements are the flow paths or the storyline. So, film is a media in the form of videos that are started or produced in real ideas. Then, in it must be cloudy elements of entertainment and meaning. This element of entertainment and meaning lies in the condition of making films, which can sometimes be in the form of comedy as well as in the form of history. In other hand, according Effendi 1986, film here is considered as mass communication, which is a combination of various technologies such as photography and sound recording, art, both art and theater arts, literature and architecture, and the art of music. Film is a moving image or moving picture. So, film categorizes it can be good authentic learning material for listening skill, and film allows students to access to more information in listening with and familiarize our ears to hear word in English. With good capture power will facilitate student in English. That is, the learners can listen and see what is happening at the same time. So, the use of film for listening skill is film can be good authentic learning material for listening skill because they contain dialects from highly proficient English speakers, which could contribute to an easier understanding of their pronunciation. It is because of the film content a lot setting, dialects, meaningful expression with range of vocabularies, phrases, and also sentence. In addition, film also have correct pronunciation, since it is start or dubbed by native speakers. The strength and weakness of film for teaching listening skill. Strength. Teachers are suggested to use film as resources in teaching the language for some reason. According Chan 2010, that visual literacy, the ability to interpret and create visual and audio media, is a fundamental form of literacy in the 21st century. The use of film in the classroom or as an outside school activities provide an ideal vehicle for active listening, as well as encouraging interaction and participation. There are It facilitates comprehension activities that are perceived as real. And the second, it creates a curiosity gap to that facilitates that exchange of opinions and ideas about the film. And the third, it helps to explore nonverbal elements. And the last, it provides meaningful context and vocabulary, exposing viewers to natural expression and natural flow of speech. And the next is weakness. And the first, it takes long time to watch the film so that students may get bored. According to Champax and Robert, 2007, that some students might resist viewing English film with English subtitles since it is take more time and effort to follow. Therefore, the student should read the subtitle and watch the scene at the same time. And the second, students prefer watching actor or actress to focusing on the main instructional goal. According Ying and Zhang 2012, that the student may be attracted by the actor and actress of the movie and forgot the purpose and aim of watching the movie, while the students are watching the movie and they cannot pay attention to their tasks. And the third, fiction movies can make students think and imagine something illogically. According Bottomley and Richard 2013, state that after watching English movies, students sometimes imagine if they were in a fairy tale world. The student will their own fantasy and act like a prince, a princess, a devil, a witch, or an angel. And the last is, film can make students imitate bad scenes from the actor or actress. There are some bad scenes of English movies that usually students imitate, such as fighting scene, smoking scene, adult scene, kiss scenes, or etc. According Sargent 2005 reported that most of Hollywood movies had a scene that allowed the actor and actress were consuming cigarette, and it can make students imitate do. And the next is the implementation of film for teaching listening skill. According to Kusumaningrum Denny 2016, in conducting an attractive classroom activities, teacher should be able to use suitable English movie. Therefore, there are some points to consider during teaching and learning process. They are: find the genre that makes students interested. Choose a film with a storyline that tends to be light so they can better digest the conversation in the film. And the second is use a subtitle. If students choose English movie, they need to use English subtitle because with that will know how to pronounce it clearly, to know how to write the word. Also, you will get a new vocabulary. And the third, make a timeline that summarizes their learning process. This technique teachers useful for knowing the extent to which student understand tenses, and teacher know how much vocabulary student know, and then the level of fluency in English.
Next is podcast. Podcast was first known in 2004, and it is defined as an internet audio blogging or internet audio publishing. According to Namazian Dos et al. In 2017, the term podcast was derived from two technologies, that is, pod from iPod and broadcasting. Sloan claims that a podcast in one innovative way for broadcasting through the internet can be used. It can be used from transferring digital audio automatically to mobile phones. From Jane in 2013 informed that podcast is one of the media that become buzzword in teaching listening today. It is massive advancement of internet and portable wireless technologies. It is enabled the gradual development of intrinsic part of e-learning and m-learning, mobile learning. It is relatively new and become a very popular method in education. It gives the large opportunity to be student to study anytime and anywhere. Constantine in 2007 explained the importance of using podcasts in the foreign language classroom for beginner level to advanced level. Beginners can benefit from general listening and exposure to new language. For intermediate level, students are able to access authentic material and exposed to a variety of voices, while for advanced level, they are able to choose podcast materials based on their own need. Students can utilize a podcast anywhere and anytime. Students, depending on their needs and levels, can obtain the utmost use out of podcast-based listening practice by controlling the listening input, the pause, replay, and slow down option. So, podcast refers to recording of sound or video on the web, can be downloaded and listened to a PC or or gadget by using MP3 setting. It's created online by people and association. The purpose of this podcast is to establish a dialect of English for education. It can be used on both intensive or extensive listening, but using podcast is more established for extensive listening, because podcasts provide the student with native speaker speech orientation. It can motivate the students' interest in English learning. Using podcasts in teaching listening skills has some advantage. According to Jane in 2013, the advantage of using podcasts are first, such kind of facilitating activity in learning the skills of communication, and two, teaching English can be simple and easy way. 3. The students are able to be an effective listener as well as good speaker based on the certain topics given. 4. To improve the competency of using technology for both teacher and students. And the weaknesses of podcast is in Indonesia, the use of podcast is relatively new, so not many people use podcasts. So finding usage information to be surrounding environment may be a bit difficult. And podcast can be used when we install certain software according to the gadget, the device used. Sometimes there is also software that provides new rates that can be used in full. And then the use of podcast certainly requires an internet connection. So you have to ensure that the availability of sufficient quota. And then there are not many software that provide podcast facilities, and this is because they are still new. But in the future, there will definitely be an increase as the number of listeners increases. The utilizing of podcasts in process of teaching and learning also can be done as the following steps. First, teachers ask the students to log in into some podcast sites, and then second, the student listen to the podcast carefully and take a note of report. And then the third is the student write down some important expression of or identify vocabulary and grammar in context, and discussion of the topics was conducted in English podcast.
My name is Cemaskara Ayu Lestari. I want to tell you the next media, that is games. As games are a variety of media that teachers can use to introduce listening skills. Learning with game media motivates students to learn, especially in improving listening skills, so that students don't get bored and don't always learn by teaching to teacher explanation or from audio recordings. And study with playing the games is suitable for young learners, giving students the opportunity to learn the language experience by having fun and playing. So why teacher must motivate his teaching in listening skill? Because in playing with games, students will feel more relaxed, happy, and fun, because they do not have to focus in one object. Playing will also create a sense of creativity, and good social interaction. So that communication in listening skills that can build the students to interact with other. And now in the past few years, and now in this era technology, of course technology is have a role in media for study, like digital games that have proof that it creates a new field of research of the benefits of digital games in language learner. And teaching with digital games shown an increase in foreign language. Therefore, to improve listening skills, you don't have to only to go to school, but in this era, you can use digital games or online games for alternatives that we can access at anywhere to learn. And then the next, the strength and the weakness of games for listening skills. The first, the strength. The strengths are students work collaboratively to achieve common goals, helping students in learning and more motivated to continue learning, providing relaxations and fun so that students do not get bored easily. Variation in learning skills with games also make it easier for students to understand better. And then the second weakness, the weakness of games for listening skills are the student was too preoccupied with playing to notice the moment and require attention from teachers or parents. This can occur when children become so engrossed in their games that they forget of their original goal, which is to improve listening skills. And the last, game online can cause addiction in students. And the implementation of games for teaching listening skills. Of course, teachers must enrich learning content by including a variety of digital games in foreign language units that can support learning. Teachers can still vary their listening skill without the use of technology through playing games like Simon Says and Whisper. The teacher for the first, so the teacher can instruct the students on how to play the game and make sure the type of play corresponds to the child's skills. An example, the teacher want the games can cooperative games between students is whispering games. As the example is whispering games, where the teacher can tell which sentence to play. As a result, the teacher gives students rewards or punishments based on whether they win or lose in order to motivate them. Okay, and the last media is YouTube. Of course, we know what is YouTube. Yes, YouTube is the largest and most popular online video sharing media website in the internet, which includes various types of videos. YouTube videos can be used as a learning resource and learning media that can meet the demands of the digital generation and can also increase interest in learning style. According to Orim Pandey, 2019. Some videos on YouTube have good content for learning to listen to students, but need to be selective because there is video content that is not educational. The aspects of the video that need to be considered are good speakers, easy to hear and understand, correct grammar, and then diverse content. The strength and weakness of YouTube for teaching listening skills. For the strengths, media that attracts to people of all ages can listen while watching an animation or moving videos to increase motivation and focus during the listening process. It is simple to use and offers a wide variety of video subjects. And the last, YouTube can help students understanding and mastery of skills. And for the weakness of YouTube are teachers presence should be more selective in the videos they show their children, avoiding non-educational content, and qualified facilities such as computers, cell phones, and quotas must be available to access YouTube. And if we study listening skill by YouTube, not all students and teachers are familiar with technology. And for the implementation of YouTube, according to Amiruddin et al. In Ruski and Soleh 2019, the teacher must instruct students to open YouTube and show the video content to be watched that is relevant to the material. After the watching, the teacher will ask students to analyze and manage video content or to create real products based on their own findings and then present it in class.
So that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for taking time to watch and listen of our presentation. Sorry for the mistake. Stay healthy everyone and see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.